Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Nova War.
And Maximus Black.
And we're coming to you from the final con of Connecticut, Canada, bringing you all those normal-ass normal games sent to you by the fans at T2DGamer.com. It's a place that's going to get an overhaul very soon. Mr. Maximus Black.
Yes, sir.
Please hit me up with the most futuristic noise you've got.
MLG!
Rewind and give me that in a futuristic version, please. It sounded like a probe that had like fetal alcohol syndrome or something.
Sorry about that alcohol syndrome.
I just offended people. Alright, so, ladies and gentlemen.
You like that? You like this camera
We're looking at,
right now?
what are we picking up MLG skills,
like
holding
that
in the
shit?
scroll button?
You know, I'm trying to do my thing.
Yeah, you know what? I usually try to do that, but unfortunately, I don't know if you. Somebody can let us know this. If you can actually reverse, like when I drag up, I want the screen to go down. You know what I mean? Like I want it reversed. So a lot of times when I try and use that in game to be fancy, I'm like, ooh, and I'll scroll up, and I'm like, way the hell away from the action. It makes no sense. Up here or down here because he didn't go to Protoss. We're looking at InfHordeon, hereforth known as InfHordeon.
Yes, sir.
If you have an erection lasting more than 4 hours, please call your doctor.
I'm not even gonna do that joke.
No?
I'm not even gonna.
Not gonna go there?
No, I'm not even gonna do it.
Alright. I mean, we could. No? Alright.
Alright, I'm gonna grab
Futurm!
I'm gonna grab my phone.
Alright, grab your phone. Alright.
Hey, Doc. My penis is big. For 4 hours.
Okay, only for 4 hours.
Sorry about that.
Alright, we're looking at Futurm, the red Protoss up here. This is, of course, Metalopolis, my favorite of all Starcraft maps, and I am still, by the way, super happy in the pants about the fact that it's back in the ladder. In fact, you could say that I might have an infinite heart-on for Metalopolis. Some scouting done here by Mr. Futurm, and as well as Infinite Heart-on getting up here in the base just before that Cybercore goes down. We're looking at 2 gas on this Protoss, sir.
Yeah, actually, 2 gas. Now they're both being saturated. Very, very early to saturate 2 full gases. Obviously tells us we're going to see some sort of...
Lots of sentries, maybe.
Yeah,
or Robo.
That's definitely possible.
Or Robo play.
Both of them are possible. We could probably see a 3-gate expand here, getting the 4 or 5, maybe in some cases 6 sentries to kind of help you with a wall out this way. But you never know. This is, I don't know what league this is, but you could see something crazy like DT.
We're talking like these guys are pros. You never know.
You never know.
You just don't
Spawning
know.
pool now just finishing up. We do have a bit of a supply block here for Infinite Heart-on. Natural expansion now just finishing as well. And finally getting himself out of that over food. And over this way, we do have one Zealot, Bob, doing his job. Still absolutely no gateway research, especially since he got that gas really early. He is shitting the bed hard.
He's got a lot of gas.
And he's not getting... there you go.
There we go.
I think he might have just forgot about that. He's too busy chasing around a drone. One thing you don't want to do is waste 2 probes chasing a drone. In fact... you really don't even need to chase around that drone at all in your base.
Just let it do its thing.
Just let it do its thing, and then once you get out that sentry, then you can go after it. Unless you're really trying to hide tech, but even still, it's gonna hurt you in the long run.
Double Stargate right now for Futurm. 1 gate, double Stargate, and Overlord is just hanging out there. He doesn't see it yet.
He needs to get rid of that Overlord.
He will
fast.
likely, I don't know if he even knows that Overlord is there yet, but if he does, he needs to go kill it. He's gonna see it now.
Yep, very nice.
That Overlord, you know, those Overlords are usually placed. I'm surprised he didn't take it outside the base yet. They usually have them in there just to spot positioning and then get out for later on use towards the mid game for scouting that tech. But right now he's not going to be able to do that. That sentry's going to go over and get rid of that scout. And back home we're looking at a Roach Warren and a Spine Crawler. I'm assuming that's going to be going down outside of his natural. There it is indeed. Great placement and all a second one as well. I'm not 100% sure what we have planned here for the Zerg yet.
Well, he's going to be in a lot of trouble here. He's going for roaches. He's not queen heavy. He only has 2 queens. We do have a double Stargate, so we're probably going to see double in the Void Rays. You can't do this forever, so eventually you only can really do 1 Void Ray at a time, and then maybe get a Phoenix while that Void Ray is going. It's just too much to handle on 1 base. You just can't get enough gas really unless you're physically not building anything else. To really double pump Void Rays. You just can't do it.
And really that hasn't been effective since, well, the game just released.
Yeah.
When it was cool.
Yeah. So there's the Phoenix. He is doing what I thought he was going to do. This is a very, very strong build against Zerg. Zerg doesn't know this. He had that Overlord up here. It got taken down by that Sentry. Getting a couple of Void Rays and a couple of Phoenix can do some serious damage.
It's super effective.
Three or four Void Rays and 1 or 2 Phoenixes. You can pick up that Queen, get rid of that Queen very, very quickly and easily. Even if he brings another one, just the sheer power of the Void Rays will be able to just melt any part of that. We do have an Evo Chamber up, so there is a possibility of getting Spore Crawlers, picking up that Queen very quickly, and is going to destroy that, and he is left defenseless against all this air.
Yeah, he's going to do a lot of damage right now. I suspect we're going to see Spore Crawlers go up at the natural. He has his Evo Chamber going to be replaced down there. I think he's afraid that the first one's going to go down before he can get out enough Spore Crawlers, which is wise because there he is going after it indeed. He's going to get rid of a couple of Overlords with these Phoenixes if he can, I guess, which would be very smart because really if you can supply block, that's even more pain to be putting on that Zerg player right now. Some people, watch it. There you go. Some people will actually reverse this where you'll see 1 Void Ray and a couple of Phoenixes. And it's not so much you know, of a commitment as this Protoss is now made with these 2 Void Rays. Either one works because really getting rid of those Queens early on is almost death for Zerg, and certainly getting rid of the layer tech this close into the game is huge. Yeah, this is very, very big. He's doing a great job at this attack. This is exactly what he needs to do. Now here comes the big thing and the big issue where a lot of players make mistakes. Ooh, another Overlord's about to go down. They make this mistake where they start, I wouldn't even say overcommitting, but they start shitting the bed at other aspects of their game. Their macros start slipping, they're not getting that expansion. Basically, this isn't going to win you a game in the long run, or in the long run it will, but in the short term, you're not going to win this game right now. Basically, this is going to set you up to dominate and get that macro advantage against the Zerg. It's just up to you if you're actually going to follow through and do that. Yeah, absolutely. I think the problem right now is that we're actually seeing the Zerg build a couple of Hydras, and we're seeing way too many gateways and stuff go down in the Protoss base. He's actually going to have too many structures on one base. Exactly. Get that expansion up. Like, those 2 gateways could have been canceled. The expansion could have gone up. You could have contained the Zerg for a little bit longer, got it up, got your macro, get into your giraffes, and then go back home to Africa, all while winning at the same time. Nice. I like that. Actually, it happens quite frequently. Lots of pilgrimages back to good old Africa. Way too much static defense right now. Well, you know what? Sure, it's keeping him alive. He has the money. I'd like to maybe see him put down a macro hatch here. That should happen a while ago. If he really can't. He also has a bunch of larvae here that he should use up before they all die. Yeah, no, this is, I gotta say, the Zerg is doing a fairly good job, and it's not so much that he's doing a good job, it's just that Future is really not doing great right now, and just like what Adam said, these 2 gateways, pointless. I mean, he doesn't even warp gates yet. He's not even warping them in, and a lot of players get this mentality of more is better, and that is not necessarily correct because it depends on what part. It depends on what part. Yeah, it is. It is the American way, eh? I just said the A too, and random Canadian just came out. Did you like that? And I never say A either. No, that never happened. And that was not on purpose. No. But like I was saying, you know, a lot of players think more is better. And a high-level master, grandmaster, even diamond players will tell you that's not the case. Just because you have 50 gateways doesn't mean you can use them. So why not start advancing yourself in the now so you're set up for the future? That sounded like a really cheesy... That sounded like a motivational speech. Yeah, it sounded like that Rochester commercial. Why don't you do something now that's going to help you in your future? You're sitting at home anyway. Why don't you make the phone call that's going to sit you? Oh, the one where all the students are black? The black guys. And they always play it on fucking Jerry Springer. It's always on Jerry Springer. Why would you keep breaking into cars and stealing people's bridge money when you can go to school? Yeah, it's terrible. It's so true. Oh my goodness, I love those commercials. They're kind of funny. Right now, I think and the other thing that ties into what you were saying, and we'll talk about this a bit while we watch Void Rays kill nothing important, is that players with bad macro. Sometimes you're funny. Okay. Sometimes I have my moments. Sometimes you are not funny at all. But it's when you're not trying to be funny when you're hilarious. That was funny. All right, good. Thank you. All right, I try. but
No,
I
you
failed.
didn't try.
No, I
You
didn't try, and that's why it was funny.
Yeah.
The macro, when your macro slips, you think you need to build more production buildings because you're not keeping up with your production timing.
Yep.
It's all about keeping their warp gates going, chronoing them if necessary if you're making big pushes and you're continuing for reinforcements. And then you'll see that a lot in the lower leagues, is that's what happens. They'll have a bunch of minerals. They'll have like 1,200 minerals. They'll be like, oh damn, I'm killing it in the mineral department. I obviously need to drop like 6 more gateways to keep up with this production.
Yeah.
And then they get 1 round of units out, and then it all fails miserably from there.
Yeah.
This is actually, the Zerg is looking awfully freaking good right now. There's a lot of queens, and he's transfusing as well.
Transfusions right now from all these queens. The Void Ray up at the top, and he needs to get out just with 11 health hit points. Oh, and it does go down. He is just getting overran right now.
So many transfusions.
So much creep. Just way too much speed, way too many units, and excellent use of the queens and transfusion.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen,
that was actually very nice.
Future get owned. He doesn't have a very bright future, might I add.
You know, you're funny sometimes, but when you try to be funny. GD!
You're right.
I love what Infinite Hard-On is doing right now, and if I'm going to continue the bad puns, he's giving me an Infinite Hard-On right now.
So bad.
I might as well just keep it going.
Yeah.
You know, I actually love what he said. That was a lot of transfusions, and not a lot of people make use of that on the battlefield enough. I feel with Zerg creep highways like we're seeing here, the queens move fast enough, you can keep them up with your main army and utilize them for that very specific reason. And we just saw, I mean, Futurm really should have won that battle, but the combination of sorta not great force fields, and the transfusion and really just superior micro there by Infinite Hard-On got him a lead, and now he is up by almost 30 food.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been really difficult for Future to win that. It was just such a big choke here. Zerg, he just did not have the amount of centuries needed for this, and he was on creep. He was basically in the zone where the Zerg can continuously pump in units very, very quickly, and there was no proxy or anything like that. He eventually would have got ran over. It was not a good place to engage. He should have just backed up, and he should be teching like crazy. He was at such a huge lead. Let's not forget, this is the guy that totally ruined this entire base, got rid of the layer tech, killed a bunch of drones, got rid of some overlords, and then decided to just build a bunch of structures and do nothing. He is only sitting on level 1 upgrades, and he still has the stalkers and zealots with only a couple centuries. There's no tech here. There's no high temps. There's no giraffes. There's really nothing for the mid to late game, and he's going to get punished for it.
Absolutely, and we're actually going to see him get punished all the way right now. Infinite Hard-On setting up for a big attack, waiting for his queens to come up into the back here. Force fields now going down. Not terrible force fields. Not force fields to stop the advancement, but just to redirect the units into those cannons. And right now we're seeing it. This is a good use of force fields right now, keeping the queens away from the main block of units. And Futurm might actually be okay here. It's going to be awfully close though, and it will come down to some micro. Lots of transfusions happening all over the place. I love it. I'm loving it. I do not see enough transfusions in big games like this, and I absolutely love seeing the use of it, especially so effectively, because right now it is definitely, it's not going to win him this battle, but it's going to set him up in a position to push with that infinite Zerg re-macro to get in here and win. And I think, does he have 1 macro hatch now? It looks like he might have 1 macro hatch. That will be enough for him to come in here and continue punishing the Protoss until it's GG, and it looks like we're about to see that right now. Yeah,
that's just about game. What a very, very good use of queens. Very, very sexy, and it forced Future to basically focus fire on those queens, and just before one would die, he would transfuse it, and at the same time, Roaches, Hydras dealing the damage from behind onto those Stalkers or Zealots or whatever it was, focus firing that queen, and it was just a very, very nice unit composition. And you know what? I'm giving a lot of credit here to Hard-On, but when it boils down to it, Future really did not play a great mid to late game at all, and I think that Hard-On really showcased or really took advantage of that.
Oh, absolutely.
Big time.
I think that even in such a predicament, Hard-On did a phenomenal job here. I definitely appreciate him being able to even get out of what he did get out of here. Just Phoenix is left on the field now. We're going to see just probably 1 push up this ramp, and then we're going to see Futurm GG no re out of this game. This is, I feel like on this map specifically, what a lot of Zerg players at lower levels, if we have some time to talk about that for the people at home, need to focus on is you can see the creep highway that's happening right now, and it's kind of ironic because it's going over top of another highway, but you should really be taking advantage of that, because on a map like this where there are a lot of chokes on the highway, you know, it's wide, but for 4 sentries or more, which is what a Protoss should be rolling with in the mid game anyway, you should have probably 6 to 9 sentries really. Not hard to force field off and create chokes that will make Protoss dominant here. At least make use of your creep highways so that you have a speed advantage, because without it, you're probably going to get rolled. I can't say enough props about InfHordeon here. I think he did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, I mean, he did. You know, I'm not trying to downplay of what
Futurm definitely dropped the ball.
Yeah, I mean, Futurm really didn't take advantage of the advantage he had from really punishing his opponent with those Void Rays, and did nothing. He just basically harassed or got rid of that main, and then didn't do anything. And that was unfortunate. And you know what? Like Adam said, kudos to Hordeon for really getting out of that, staying calm, and then eventually punishing the opponent for his mistakes. So you know what? That was a good game. Kind of a rage quit. He didn't seem like the most friendly player, but you know what? It is what it is. It was a good game.
Absolutely, 110%. Yep. Let's wrap it up. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been LAGTV, coming to you from the fine locale of Canuckville, Canada. I'm Nova War.
And whenever you have a Hordeon,
send it to Maximus Black in the form of a mold. GG!